Very sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for that temporary setback. So let's go ahead and try to wrap this up quickly because I do not want to do another stream based off this. So let's continue on forward. Now, the next character on this list, M. So what M is, she's kind of she's basically a pressure character, but she's a pressure character who can play a low risk pressure character. While I said how Tokyo is a immobile fortress, we can say M is the mobile fortress of the game. Basically, the thing with M is M can close the distance against her opponent because she has a projectile that's very slow, doesn't have much range, but because how slow it is, she can send out that projectile and then travel behind it. And that projectile is pretty formidable due to it causing, like, unlike, let's say, May's projectile or even, let's say even Finn's projectile, when they hit the opponent, it's just standing up. When M projectile hits you, you're actually floating up and getting a soft knockdown. So she can even combo off her projectile if it hits. Not only that, her back special, which I think is called Rubber Crush, it actually gives her a hard knockdown even if the opponent is in the air, which is a rarity. There's not many attacks in the game that gives you a complete hard knockdown. And not only that, when she does actually land her Rubber Crush on the ground, it brings up Pillar that locks the opponent in place, thus they can't move. Not only that, M has a lot of extra normals that can serve either missile purposes or they can be combo fodder, or even cross up. She has even moves that auto crosses up. So, M is a somewhat of a well-rounded character who leans more heavily on the pressure style and good Okazumi. Because that Rubber Crush, if she can land that on your wake up, even with nullify attack, clashing, or even on guard cancels, M is able to basically act before you and counterplay properly. So she gets a really good substantial sort of set play and if she can land that combo. What's her issue? She needs to close people. Her projectile, she can get outzoned pretty well, and people can't keep her out if they are pretty good at it. Now, when people need to approach her, then it's free reign for her. But when she needs to approach, she does have some issue. But once she gets her game going, she can kind of keep it going consistently. Both her Phantom Breakers are actually pretty substantial. Her quick Phantom Breaker has her send bunch of small little minions that even if she gets hit, those minions will still attack you. Her hard style just basically covers the complete horizontal range, almost similar to Makoto's beam, with just projectile that you have to respect. So, M, yeah, she's pretty much a pretty decent wall or sort of pressure character, a mobile fortress type of character, and good damage. Yeah, so that is M. So, and from one more character for this rank, and that's going to be Remy. Now, if you want to talk about combo queen, if you want to talk about combos and all about that combos, that is Remy. I mean, yes, you do have Cocoa, but really Cocoa is also even really good at pressuring. Remy, not good at pressuring. In fact, here's where the difference is. Cocoa actually has difficulty getting soft knockdown, so she does technically have to keep her combos short, but she has good combo enders that just does damage. So it's like, okay, I didn't get to do as long as her combo as I want unless I use meter, but she still got the damage. Remy, she can get combos from almost any hit she gets. Not only that, even though she doesn't have a projectile herself, she does have, like I said, her stationary like feathers that basically just completely walls off the opponent to approach her from ground wise. Not only that, she also has better mobility than Cocoa. So that's how Remy even gets the edge over Cocoa. Cocoa mobility, unless she's in quick style, her mobility is not that great. Remy, regardless of any style, she has mobility because of her command dash. And all that, she's the only character who also has, I think, almost a frame 1 invisibility move that is also even safe if she counts it properly. Well, she can do cross. She has multiple ways to cross up. She can air stall in the air. But not only that, yeah, if you want to talk about keep away character, Remy also can do that. She can either either do big damaging combos on you, or she could just stall in the air with her air command dash, and you have to chase after her. It is very, very scary to want to try to chase after a Remy because of her air mobility. She is the most mobile character in the game, essentially. And if she gets a hit, she can do combos and get substantial damage. Probably her weakest aspect, really, is her It basically, even though she can force people to approach her, she's not good at really anti-airing people, if you will. That's because her normals don't really. She don't have really good air unblockable normal. She has attack that can at least intercept people in the air, but when she actually wants to keep people from jumping around, like use air unblockables, unfortunately, she's lacking in that department. She has to use her ES, and all her ES do have blind spots. But Phantom Breakers are great. They're decent. They're good. One's a beam. The other is just a rushing attack. So she has good Phantom Breaker. But yeah, if you want combo or runaway, Remy got you covering that. If you want the ability to keep people from guard counseling and air jumping out of your pressure, Remy suffers in that regards. And that's going to cover the S people. These are the people who are basically playing Phantom Breaker proper, where they have a game plan. Their game plan doesn't change drastically when they go to different styles and whatnot. So, and they can't contend with the top tiers favorably. Sometimes they may need a counter pick on style with the top tiers, but yeah. So now let's get to the top tier, and this is actually going to be in organized. The first person, so top 3, number 3, Gaito. Why Gaito? So Gaito, damage. Highest damage output in the game. Can easily hit the opponent and make them be KO very quickly if the cards line up. If you manage to activate tension mode and he at least has 1 bar, you are going to at least lose 50% outright. It's happening. Because, yeah, it's just happening. Not only that, he even has his own way of dealing with the defensive mechanics in the game. One, he's almost like a grappler, but without the downside of the grappler. Surprisingly, for having a big body, because he's hunched over, his hitbox is actually the same size as every other character. Unlike Tokuya or Infinity, who are very tall, have large hurt bots. Gato, he doesn't have a large hurt box, but he has the damage. He's slow, but he can still cover, but he can still travel to his point, because he does also have the most defense. He can take a beating. He could dish out the damage, and he could take the beating if necessary. But what really keeps him one of the best is he does have actually the best anti-air in the game. And he's also one of the few characters who actually has plus normals on their attacks. Not only that, he also has pretty good set play because of his back special, which is projectile invulnerable. So yeah, he actually has ways to deal with projectile for grapplers. Well, we don't know if we could call him a grappler. We'll talk about that later. He has projectile invulnerability moves. He has his own projectile to force people to take it, and his combo game not terrible. It's decent. It's good. As long as he has meter, he can use his ES projectile, which one is slow traveling, so he can still travel behind it. If it hits the opponent, it does cause him a soft knockdown state, which means he can either combo after it or get an Okizeme from it. Can easily combo into it. He has one of the better Kara Council normals in the game with his mix-up because of his low attacks and whatnot. And not only that, both his Phantom Breaker are good against the emergency mode defensive mechanic, the burst of the game. Because his quick style is a hit grab, so once he hits you with his Phantom Breaker, you're not breaking out of it. And it's also one of the highest damaging Phantom Breaker. Not higher than Mikoto's hard style, but it's definitely up there in top 5 in highest damage output. Now his hard style, his hard style Phantom Breaker can be emergency mode, but here's the thing: his hard style his hard style Phantom Breaker is just a big It's basically just a Galactic Phantom, aka a big, strong punch. Lunging, strong punch. He just does one punch and it does huge damage. So even if the opponent even does emergency mode they're not reducing the damage. They just wasted their meter because... Well, not even say wasted meter. Because one, if he gets his Hardstyle Phantom Breaker on counter hit, he can combo off of it. And his Hardstyle counter break... His Hardstyle Phantom Breaker at least does 60% by itself. And if he gets a combo afterwards, you probably could say you're dead. So he has reliable and effective ways of dealing with people who want to use the game's defensive mechanics, including emergency mode. He does good damage. There are now he doesn't even really need to even approach people who are even projectile specialists because he has a projectile invulnerability move in his back special, and he even has a projectile of his own. So yeah, he gets to do what he wants, and he also has a consistent hard knockdown with his down special. It's not a command grab, unfortunately, but if the opponents are jumping, it will catch them. If they're crouching, because it is an overhead, it will hit them. And even if they block, as long as Gato spaces himself well, he's plus, so he can still keep his turn going, unless they want to guard cancel it. So, yeah, once Gato is in the opponent's face, he gets to stay in that space and gets to run a train on them. And if he doesn't even want to approach them, he can stay as far away as he wants to and look for poor movement on the opponent. So yeah, that's Gaito, top 3. Next character. Rhea, number 2. Rise Rhea, number 2. She probably is the most honest person playing Phantom Breaker. Because she doesn't really have any bullshit stuff going on, unlike, let's say, Gato, where he has bullshit. Because he has plus normals. Almost no one's really had that much plus normal outside of, let's say, maybe Yuzuha and Kokoa, but even they have drawbacks. Gato has little to no drawbacks, and he gets to be plus, and he gets to do Vortex if he wants to. He gets to play Keep Away if he even wants to, and his jumping C is stupid. Rhea is at least a bit more honest, but why is Rhea actually top? One, she has actually a pretty decent combo game. She has a very good tech chase game because of how a lot of her attacks work. They kind of cause a soft knockdown, but she kind of puts the opponent in the air, so then she can tech chase them really well. Thus, she gets to run some type of mix-up. Not only that, she's one of the few characters who has a projectile where it goes forward and travels back, which means she can make guard cancel unsafe against her because of her projectiles work. She even has assurances against other people's emergency mode defensive thing, and she's also good at just doing damage against the opponent themselves. But probably her biggest and defining feature is her forward light kick. Why her forward light kick is really good? It's a unique normal, but it's a low unique normal that she can, one, guard cancel out of into her grab, and she can also frame trap it by just keep doing it, and it's safe. So basically, once Rhea is in your face, she's just gonna spam that. And if you try to, you can't guard cancel it because it denies guard cancel. Because that's the thing about low block strings. Low block strings don't let you guard cancel. And if you want to use nullify attack, if you try to nullify attack and gives her that pressure, she can guard cancel to her grab and is a guaranteed punish. And she can combo off of her grab easily or do a tech chase. Not only that, if you want to use quick stop, if you want to use hardstyle nullify attack like protection, because it forces you to crouch, it actually makes you suffer a longer guard stun than Rhea, so you can't even really try to steal your turn with protection. Basically, she is just beating the game's mechanic, a lot of the game's defensive mechanic by her own self, one way or another. So, yeah, she basically just gets to keep doing her pressure whenever she wants to. She also has one of the better perfect cross-up attack because her back special, if she's up close to you, she can do a perfect cross-up, which on hit or counter hit, she can follow up easily. She's not actually bad at meter building either. So Rhea just gets to So Rhea really just gets to play Phantom Breaker in the best form. Now, is she better than Gaito? Technically not really, but what makes her actually be number 2 is because who is number 1, which is Kirisu. Kirisu is the definition of basically guest character privilege. They give her all the best tools, best commands, almost the best normal. The only thing bad about Kirisu is she has small normals, but even that's a bit of a caveat due to the fact that they're not the best normals. They're stubby, but either she has a big overarching overhead attack. She has a very low profiling, low dash attack. And she is one of the few characters who has a jump countable move that's on block. No one else really has that besides, I think, Ren. But Ren actually has to do his medium string to get that. While Kirisu can do that on command because it is her universal overhead. Like from universal overhead, she can jump cancel that and on block. Thus, she can do things that basically no other character can really do per se. Not only that, she has a true command grab. I mean, an SPD command grab. Not only that, her SPD, she can combo off for it. She can loop back into being an SPD with if she sets up. She also has a banana that is a trap command, the only trap command in the game, and it's unblockable. You cannot fight it. And then she has a flamethrower move that pressures the opponent, and the EX version is, I think it's plus. I think it's both plus, air unblockable, and it puts your opponent back, and it's invulnerable. She basically has Dawson Jogo Flame on steroids. She also has a beam projectile, so she can almost basically beat any projectile warrior outside of Affinity and Ende. So she just gets the best of work. She wants to play Fireball Trap, she can do that. She wants to play Mix Up, she can do that. If she wants to do Vortex, she can do that, which is actually her best gameplay, the Vortex part. And no matter what style she is, she can apply those gameplay regardless of any style she's in. So, yeah. Kirisu, one button SPD, I'm pretty sure is at least 2 frames that can combo and is safe against emergency. Yeah, good. Kirisu just gets the best of everything. Now, this is why Rhea is actually second. Rhea can actually make herself safe against Kirisu set play. Not Gaito. Gaito can't make himself safe against Kirisu set play. Every other character has to respect Kirisu's set play. The only one who doesn't have to respect it is Rhea. And that's why Rhea is actually number 2. Because she can actually basically fight against Kirisu so legitimately. Still in Kirisu's favor, but she can at least stop the Vortex and make Kirisu play honest. She can force Kirisu to play honest. Everybody else, they can't make Kirisu play honest. She can just do her bullshit of, I have a command grab that's 2 frames. You got 2 frames. I have a banana peel that if the banana peel is right on top of you on Oki, you can't do anything. You, besides try to hyper jump, which then she just do air unblockable. If you stand there, she can just miss you up or even command grab again. And if you try to attack, you're just going to fall over and then she gets to run her game over again. The reason how Rhea can counterplay that is Rhea does have a projectile that spins around her. So it basically acts like a shield. And even if Kirisu, let's say, tries to shoot her before she does that, that projectile that Rhea has 8 frames. It has 8 hits of durability. So Rhea can activate it. Kirisu could do her beam. Rhea could get hit by the beam, but whatever. It's a hit. It doesn't really hurt her that much. And or worse, it will clash with her projectile, but the projectile is still going to persist because she needs to do 8 hits of a projectile to make it go away. So let's say Kirisu even manages to get a knockdown on Rhea. How about this? Kirisu then has a hard time approaching Rhea once she put that projectile out there. And in fact, that's what makes Rhea even kind of good, because Rhea can activate that spinning projectile that's like a shield and then either run away or a close opponent with, safeguards. And even Kirisu has to respect that to some degree. So the fact that Rhea has a chance to stop Kirisu's set play, that what makes Kirisu... No, that what makes Rhea top 2. Forgive me, I think I messed up the character names. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. But yeah, so that's it. I finally did it. This is my 2021 Phantom Breaker Extra tier list. Top tier characters got bullshit going on. I mean, her set play, had to respect it. There's no mechanic in the game that defends against it. Rhea playing the most honest version of Phantom Breaker, but gets almost the best of everything, of any style. Or better yet, her bullshit is her unique like normal, which is like all purpose, does everything. It pressures, it combos, it pretty much she can power cancel it to change what she can do from it. So she pretty much guarantee you can't use quick style. Yeah, there you go. Rhea, you pretty much can never use quick style against her. If you use quick style against her, you're probably going to lose unless you get the initiative first. Because once she gets you locked down, you're locked down from Rhea. And then Gaito, damage. Bullshit damage. So that's how the top 3 is. S people, these people are playing Phantom Breaker proper, where they can use any style they want. They can change the style based off either the matchup or player preferences. A style, these are people who are being kept from being S because, one, Kokoa pretty much only wants to use quick style. Tokia, big freaking hitbox, and pretty much has the worst matchup in the game against Kokoa. Infinity, not really that good defensive option, but the best zoner in the game, even against Kirisu zoning. If Kirisu wants to try to zone, she's not going to outzone Infinity. But then again, what's Infinity's issue from being better? Worst health in the game. Can't take a hit. Very floaty, so people can juggle them. And then people with NA, they at least have something of a solid game plan. Problem is, they have to pretty much rely on, to play them very good, they only play one style really good, but then that's when the opponent can start just kind of picking your style, and it becomes a problem for them. Shizuku, pretty much the glitch hurts her, and then she's also very counter hit prone, so she's easy to get one-shotted. And boss character, like I said, I feel they're invalidated, but if they were in the game, they would probably be either right behind S+, or they're just in S, because they're the better version of Mikoto and L. And that's going to wrap this up. Thank you for joining me, everyone. I am sorry if there might have been a list. I don't know if people were chatting in the chat. But yeah, that is my list. And thank you for joining me. Have a good day.